Saudi businessman Saleh bin Abdullah Kamel died, on Monday evening, at the age of 79, after a struggle with illness. Saleh Abdullah Kamel is considered one of the most prominent Saudi businessmen and investors who have invested in a number of sectors, the most prominent of which is the investment sector, where the Arab countries know the Dala Al Baraka Group spread of its business, which includes institutions and companies involved in development investments, the most prominent of which is its activity in Islamic banking. Kamel was one of the Saudi businessmen who invested in the field of media and advertising, as he fought a giant experiment that lasted for decades through the famous Radio and Television Corporation (ART), and one of the founders of Makkah newspaper as the latest Saudi newspaper developed for the ancient symposium, as it chairs its board of directors until his death, according to Asharq al-Azat. He chaired the full board of directors of the Dala Al Baraka Group, which is a group of institutions concerned with development and various investment fields, as he headed the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Jeddah. Externally, he headed many organizations and institutions, among which was the board of directors of the General Council of Islamic Banks and Financial Institutions, the Islamic Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, and a member of the advisory board of the president of the Islamic Development Bank Group. According to various estimates, Saleh Kamel is considered one of the wealthiest Saudi businessmen, as his wealth is estimated at the lowest of 8 billion rials $2.3 billion, as he is active in many sectors and economic activities, including Islamic banks, and is one of the flags of the Arab world to call for transformation from conventional banks to Islamic banking. Most of the Saudi media reported the death news and praised it without indicating that he was among the detainees at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in late 2017 and remained in detention for several months and was not released until late 2018 after reaching a financial settlement according to which he paid an undisclosed amount. The Saudi newspaper Al-Sharq al-Azad wrote in its issue today, "Turn to the mercy of God on the dawn of today, Tuesday, the well-known Saudi businessman Saleh bin Abdullah Kamel, as electronic and social media outlets fomented the news of his death and prayers for him." It is known that Saleh Abdullah Kamel he is a prominent Saudi businessman and investor, and he is considered one of the first Saudi businessmen who invested in a number of sectors, the most prominent of which was the investment sector, where the Arab countries know the Dala Al Baraka Group with the spread of its business, which includes institutions and companies concerned with development investments, the most prominent of which was his activity in banking Islamic. The American Wall Street Journal said that Saleh Kamel was among those released in late 2018. The Qatari newspaper, Al-Sharq, quoted the famous Saudi blogger, Al-Ahd al-Jadid, that Saleh Kamel paid $4 billion, without clarifying whether the amount is in dollars or in Saudi riyals. It is likely to be in Saudi riyals if the American Forbes magazine estimated his wealth at less than $2.5 billion in 2017. But U.S. Bloomberg News Agency said in February 2019 that Kamel's fortune, which valued at more than $3 billion, had fallen by $700 million and had fallen to $3 billion, and that he had surrendered 60% of NBC Media's shares. The adjustments of the corruption campaign in Saudi Arabia are equivalent to about $107 billion. The Saudi authorities have arrested around 200 prominent princes, ministers and businessmen as part of the so-called anti-corruption campaign led by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And it was at the head of the businessmen who detained Al-Walid bin Talal and Sheikh Saleh Kamel, the pioneer of satellite television broadcasting. The late born in Mecca, 1941, and received a bachelor's degree in commerce in Riyadh, and was one of the largest Arab investors in the field of media through the ART network, Arab radio and television, in addition to his investments in many fields. He worked as an employee at the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs, then took over the position of advisor at the Ministry of Finance for a period of 10 years. He left work in the country and founded his major company, Dala Baraka Holding, in 1969, which has investments in several areas inside and outside Saudi Arabia, such as Egypt. His business also includes commercial, tourism, industrial, agricultural, real estate, health services, and other contracting work. As for real estate, Dala Group for Real Estate and Tourism Development owns 11 subsidiaries, including Shrek Marketing, Dala for Buildings, Saudi Arabia for Tourist Cities, Al Bahar Real Estate Investment, Durat Al Arus for Real Estate and Tourism Development, and Durat Riyadh and Saudi Arabia for Real Estate Maintenance.